Officer Chen excitedly ran towards the trash can and found the bomb hidden by her training officer. She then turned to show off to Bradford, but Bradford claimed he couldn't hear. Helplessly, Chen took out her radio.
I found.
Seeing Chen embarrassed, Bradford gleefully said,
And you're dead. Because radio frequency energy can trigger a bomb. You gonna forget that lesson, Boot?
No.
Good. Go get cleaned up.
he pretended not to hear on purpose, just to let her detonate the bomb. Now Bradford was very pleased. The boy looked like just he was playing with a toy gun, but the arriving cop was exceptionally alarmed. Because the gun was real, watching the boy playing around incessantly, the officer shouted for him to drop the gun, but the boy mischievously continued to toy with the gun, even gesturing with it towards his mother, until the mother in desperation yelled out. The gun went off. The whole world fell silent. The mother who was shot fell into a pool of blood. The boy, now scared, cried incessantly, staring at his blood-stained hands. The officer was very angry, for he knew the true culprit of it all was the suspect he had just apprehended. At the time, he hadn't found the gun, but only some bullets. The man had taunted, claiming storing bullets wasn't illegal. The officer stormed angrily towards the car.
You did this.
I didn't do nothing.
It was your gun!
Prove it.
He wiped the blood from his hands tremblingly, vowed to bring the man to justice. The two prepared their duty gear that day. Officer Harper directly swapped to an AR-15 style rifle, which surprised Nolan a bit. It's not common for patrol officers to carry this gun. While on the street, Harper saw a familiar face. He was a dealer she had contacted from her undercover days. His appearance now definitely meant something was about to happen. Harper started undressing as she spoke, first taking off her shirt, then her pants, and then loosening her hair, wiping off the eye makeup. After getting out of the car, she deftly smeared on the tire, instantly transforming into a junkie. She glanced at the target as she entered, casually grabbed a pair of slippers, then put on a coat and slung a shopping bag over her shoulder, just waiting for the man to come and strike up a conversation. Sure enough, the man recognized her. Harper began trying to engage him in conversation, but the man ignored her. Then Nolan in the car saw the man flying out of the window. This should be the signal Harper gave him, but just as Nolan entered, he was punched by Harper.
Let him go arrest me.
Then Harper smoothly got the man's contact information. After everything was resolved, the two drove away, but an interesting scene unfolded. Not only did Nolan not let go of Harper, he also locked her in the car and went outside to have lunch with his friends.
How did you do that? The shop only opens from the outside.
Enjoy your cupcake, because it's the last thing you'll eat as a cop.
Which was a bit awkward, but Nolan still had a trick up his sleeve, taking out the man's phone number. But do you think Harper would let him off the hook? This cop opened the photocopier, then proceeded to shove his head inside. He did this, just want to duplicate his thoughts. Just now, Officer West was inspecting a suspicious vehicle, when suddenly a white powder inside the car sprayed all over his face. At the time, he didn't think much of it, but upon returning to the station, his colleague Lopez noticed something was off. What was supposed to be a simple report was being narrated endlessly by him. Officer Lopez quickly brought him into a room for checking. She suspected West was high to prevent it from getting worse. Lopez immediately took away West's sidearm, then swiftly escorted him to the hospital for a blood test. West was becoming increasingly agitated. Lopez had no choice but to temporarily place him in the photocopy room.
Get it together. You're gonna be okay. Just slow down. And, take a breath. What if the copier could copy your thoughts?
However, he had a sudden idea. He wanted to duplicate his thoughts using the photocopier. This cop just wanted to use the restroom and had barely sat down. The gun belt hanging on the door was stolen. She quickly pulled up her pants and chased after, but there were no suspicious persons outside. This was a complete disaster. Never did she expect to lose her gun belt just days into the job. But upon reflection, when she went into the restroom, she had checked every stall.
The walls of the stall reached top to bottom?
No, sir.
And it wasn't secure, was it, Boot? Now your weapon is on the street because you couldn't hold your water.
Just as Chen was waiting to be reprimanded, her training officer Bradford pulled out her gun belt from the car. He had sneaked into the ladies' room. The rookie cop reported for duty on the first day, before his name could even be fully said. The pistol accidentally discharged.
Badger, my office now.
Without any surprise, the man became the quickest to be fired from the entire police station, while another rookie remained remarkably calm. Upon hearing the gunshot, she immediately gripped her gun. It turns out she wasn't just an ordinary boot, she is former military. Not only could she skillfully handle various firearms, she even kept a bullet in the chamber to save an extra half second. After a series of proficient maneuvers, even the experienced training officer was impressed. However, as soon as the two went out on patrol, they encountered a group of armed robbers. But the robbers' firepower was fierce. The two couldn't get close to them at all. At this moment, the rookie suddenly came up with a good idea. She aimed her gun at the ground and succeeded successfully took down one person by using the bullet's rebound. Seeing the situation turn unfavorable, the other robber quickly fled, but he was swiftly knocked down by colleagues who had come to support. The two young men were wearing military vests and shooting at each other. One day, a mother called the cops and said her two sons were killing each other. They had bought these vests off the internet and wanted to try them out. At that moment, they were pointing guns at each other. Oh, what did I just watch? They even ignored cops' warning. The young man still insisted that they were just betting, but the other one wasn't so lucky. The bullet penetrated the vest and hit him. The mother was still complaining about her son on the side, but he said,
I won the bet.
What bet? It was his idea.
This young officer apprehended a criminal for the first time, but her instructor beside her looked extremely serious, urging her not to move. A syringe covered in mud had somehow been stuck to her waist. This was the slum of Los Angeles, and who knew what virus might be on the needle? Looking at the not-so-deep needle, Lucy still held onto a glimmer of hope. However, when the instructor removed the needle, the slightest trace of blood on it, which made both feel tension right away. The sudden turn of events left Lucy bewildered, but her instructor beside her asked at that moment,
What do we do now?
Looking at his stern expression, Lucy's emotions slowly calmed down. Only then did she remember to go to the nearest hospital for examination, but when Lucy explained the situation to the nurse and mentioned she needed a blood test, the nurse handed Lucy a form, requesting her to fill it out before getting tested. The instructor couldn't bear to see this.
There's no experienced nurse lets an armed cop sit with civilians. What do you think happens if someone attempts to grab her weapon? The hospital protocol dictates that an armed officer be seen immediately, so set her up in a room right now and find a doctor.
It was then that Lucy realized this seemingly cold instructor was actually quite caring.
Check it out. 2 o'clock, Nick Cat.
Call it in.
Control 7 out of 15, requesting backup.
Drop the gun.
Don't shoot. It's just a movie. No, don't look at camera. This is great production value.
What the?
Oh no, tase him. What? Make it really hurt.
Fake gun.
Of course it is. I'm a film major. This is my thesis project.
Do you have a permit to film here?
No, I'm just a student.
You've just committed a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail or a $10,000 fine. Your driver's license, please. Beaver.
What kind of weird-ass movie is this?
Sir, driver's license and registration, please. What's the problem? You were doing 50 in a school zone. What's that sound?
My bees?
Your what?
Bees. I'm a beekeeper.
Sir, threatening an officer is a crime.
All right, step out of the car. You okay?
Yeah, you?
Sure, I'm missing my long sleeves.
Calling units, be on the lookout for a blue minivan. Look out, it's full of bees. Hey, big guy. Hey.
Great.
Grace?
John? Are you okay?
Yes. Yeah, I probably should have stretched before that.
How long have you been a cop?
6 months.
What did you give him? And can I get some?